If you are a new real estate agent, or maybe you have been in the business for some time, I know that there's probably been multiple times that you have been frustrated with the process, with what you're doing, with the results that you're probably not getting. Well, in this video, I will be going over 7 different frustrations that new real estate agents have, and I will also be giving you some solutions. Now, before I begin, make sure to stay until the end because number 7 is one that if you don't take care of and handle, it might drive you crazy. So let's begin with the first one, lack of leads. I hear this all the time. Loida, where do I get leads? I don't have leads. I need buyers. I need sellers. I need whoever wants to do anything real estate related. First of all, you have to know that it's going to take some work for you to generate leads, whether it is picking up the phones, whether it's door knocking, whether it's doing open houses. There are so many different ways for you to generate leads so that you can start building a pipeline. Now, a lot of the time, a lot of agents think that, if I post something on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, I'm automatically is going to start to get leads. But many times it doesn't happen that way. Now, if you are in a position where you can actually invest in a service that provides you leads, like for sale by owners, expires, or anything like that, I would highly recommend looking at Vulcan 7. Vulcan 7 is a platform that I have been using for many years. And believe me, I have used a lot of different platforms out there that you can probably think of, pretty much all of them at this point. I've been in the business for quite some time. Vulcan 7 is the one that I have always stuck to because they have very accurate phone numbers and I have gotten very good results from that platform. So again, if you have the ability to purchase and invest in a lead source, definitely check out Vulcan 7. There's going to be a link in the description box. If you reach out, just let them know Loida sent you. They always have different specials and discounts going. Now, if you're in a position where maybe you're like, Loida, I don't have a budget, I don't have any money, where can I generate leads for free? Well, the first thing that I would say is, look, door knocking does not cost you anything. And, you have to be very selective as well when it comes to door knocking. You have to know what neighborhoods are safe, what neighborhoods to stay away from. One thing that agents also reach out to me and tell me is that they want to target higher price points or luxury price points, or they feel that, I don't have any business, so I shouldn't even be going after those price points. What you can do is definitely partner up with another agent that is working those areas, or even yourself, get more educated when it comes to helping buyers and sellers and what they look for specifically in those price points. If it is luxury, if it's over 800,000, if it's over 500,000, whatever that is, know who the audience from the people that look into those areas are. What do they like? Where do they hang out? How do they talk? How do they dress? A lot of the times these are business owners. So maybe they do work from home. Maybe they are likely to open the door. There's this thing that a lot of agents think that door knocking doesn't work or people are mean at the doors. And it's quite the contrary. When I have door knocked, a lot of the times these homeowners are actually very nice. They have conversations with me. And a lot of times they actually tell me, you know what, you're the only one that has knocked on my door. So a lot of agents are not doing this. So hit the doors, open houses. If you are a part of a brokerage, find out if there are any agents, listing agents that have any listings that are new to the market that you can possibly help them with doing an open house. Now, if you are going to do an open house, I would highly recommend for you to leverage that open house and not just go there the day of the open house and kind of sit back and wait, but leading up to the open house that week, especially if you know ahead of time that you're going to be doing an open house, I would knock around the area and I would also call the neighbors to promote that open house. Why? Because you never know if you might bump into someone that is interested in actually purchasing that property. Maybe one of the neighbors is thinking about selling. So it is another great way for you to generate leads. So there is no excuse for you to not be generating leads or building a pipeline because there's so many different sources out there. When it comes to leads, just like I mentioned earlier, Vulcan 7, there's for sale by owners, there's expireds. You can target neighborhoods. You can do just listed or just sold script. There's pre-foreclosures. I mean, there are so many different lead sources out there. Some are free, Some will take you investing some money into it so that you can make your life easier, be more efficient, and more productive. Another frustration is a limited network. How many of you have gotten into real estate and maybe you are in your 20s, or maybe you don't have a database, or maybe some of you are like, you know what, Loida, my friends, they don't have money to purchase. A lot of them don't even have a home to sell. So my network is limited. Again, what I would say is start building a pipeline and a database by just, circle prospecting and picking up the phone. Pick up the phone or door knock or go and network, go to events. If there's something specific that you like, that you are a part of, that is your hobby, start getting involved in those communities and build relationships, because you never know who you're going to meet that might be your first deal or that might refer you to someone else. So, for example, I recently out here in South Florida went to an event that was regarding fashion, completely unrelated to real estate. There, I met so many different ladies. None of them are in real estate, but I was able to make connections so that now in the future, if any of them are thinking about buying or selling, I am the real estate agent that they know. And all it took was for me to go out there at this event for 2 hours of my day on one evening, and it was a free event. So these are just things that you need to be doing. Put yourself outside of your comfort zone. And I guarantee you, you are going to start building a network of people that eventually might bring you business or might reach out to you because you stood out. Number three, high competition. How many of you that are watching this think that there's a lot of competition, that you are competing against so many other agents and it's going to be very difficult for you to even get a deal, whether it's a buyer or a seller? If you are in a position where you feel that there is high competition, what I suggest for you to do is work on your skills. Work on your communication, your listening, and your objection handling skills. This is what's going to allow you to set yourself apart from other agents, especially as you are generating leads and prospecting. You need to remember, especially if you're calling sellers or people that have come off the market, expireds or for sale by owners, these are people that absolutely want to sell or need to sell. These are the low hanging fruit that are saying, you know what, I need to sell and I want to put my home for sale and get out of here. So they're probably going to be getting a lot of calls. And at that point, what is going to separate you from the next agent that is calling? Your skills. So, is there competition? Probably. But what's going to separate you? Your skills and your ability to communicate, to listen, to figure out if someone is truly motivated to sell the property or to purchase a home, and how you as an agent can help them in whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. Or for that fact, whether you cannot help them, because we are in a business. I like to say we are in a business to be able to provide a service. If we can't, then we would be doing a disservice. Please do not be the type of agent that takes any listing, whether it's overpriced or whether the seller's not motivated, just because you want to put your sign in the yard and just because you want to say you got something. Because you know what's going to happen? At the end of the day, it's going to come off the market unsold if it's a listing, or if it's a buyer that's not motivated, you're going to be showing them hundreds of homes. And I have heard this many times. And you're going to be showing them for months at a time, and they're not going to make a decision. So again, your skills is what's going to help elevate you and help you stand out in a competitive market. Number four, does paperwork scare you? Something that I hear so many times is agents telling me that they do not want to start lead generating or prospecting until they know every single line of the contract. I can tell you that when I got into the business, I took the classes to know exactly what the contracts were, but immediately I also started prospecting and generating leads. Because what's the point of knowing every single line in the contract if I can't put it to use because I don't have a client? So what I did is that I would generate leads, I would call, and if you go back to my early videos, you can see that I would always be calling expireds and for sale by owners. So I would call to see who was looking to sell. Once I got a lead, I had a team. I had an agent, I had a broker. If I needed help, I had someone that could help guide me through the process of filling out the paperwork so that I could make sure that everything was filled out correctly. And you know what the best part is? That I was able to get together with these agents and do these contracts side by side. And that's exactly how I learned. Also, there's a lot of classes through my MLS or the local association that I was able to tune into to learn exactly what the contracts are and things that I need to be able to know to explain to my clients. So don't feel that you need to know every single line of the contract before you get to work. I would say to you, start getting yourself out there, prospecting, generating leads, and just know that when the time comes, obviously you hopefully will have a broker or another agent or a team leader that can help guide you through filling out all of the paperwork correctly. But the whole point is first, just start making the calls and generating leads. Number five, uncertain income. Now, I know that a lot of you that are watching this are like, you know what, Loida, I've been in the business for 3, 6, a month, a year, and I still haven't gotten a paycheck. I don't know if this is worth it. Well, look, whatever stage you're in, obviously, you need to make sure they have money saved up, especially if you are getting into real estate or if you have been in the business. And the reality is that until you get with someone, whether it's a coach or a mentor or a broker or a team leader, they will really be able to tell you exactly what you need to work on to start hitting your goals. Now, the reason that I'm talking about that is because depending on the work that you're putting in, you will be able to know exactly how soon thereafter you might be able to start seeing some results. Now, something that I hear all the time is agents that tell me that they're putting in the work and they've been doing this for 2 weeks or 2 months and nothing's happening. If you are in that case, here are some things that I want you to think about and also analyze. First of all, how many days are you actually generating leads and talking to people? Number two, how many conversations are you having every single day? If you're having one or two conversations a day, that's not enough. One or two is not enough. If you're talking to 10 people a week, that is not enough. Remember, the more people that you talk to, the sooner you will get to that person that is looking to either buy, sell, or invest. Every single day, your goal should be to start building and adding people to your database that might want to do something now or later on in the future. If you have had a good conversation with someone, you want to be able to have their phone number, an email if possible, and obviously their name and address so that you can plug them in. You have to constantly be adding to this. And as you work your database, whether it's on a spreadsheet or on a CRM, it'll get to a point that these people will start converting. So when it comes to uncertain income, yes, you don't know when your next paycheck is going to come, but what you can control is the work that you are putting in. If you're doing this full time, then you should be prospecting 80% of the time. If you are doing real estate part time, then you need to know exactly what days and times you are going to dedicate to generating leads to make sure that you are putting yourself up and building everything for success. Now, make sure to check out my recent live streams that I've done where I talk about how to succeed as an agent in 2024 and also how to succeed as a part time real estate agent. Number six, and this kind of relates to number five, and that is inadequate training. Unfortunately, it might happen to you if it hasn't already that you are a part of a brokerage that just doesn't offer training or support, or they're just not giving you any help that you need. A lot of times, agents go to these brokerages that promise them the world, and once they join and sign up, they find themselves in a position where they're trying to figure everything out. If that is the case, first of all, I'm glad that you're watching this. I have over 300 videos where you can actually learn what it takes to be a successful real estate agent. Aside from that, I have a new agent bootcamp, newinrealestate.com. I highly recommend for you to check out and also take part in. And aside from that, if you are in a position where you are at a company where you feel like they're actually holding you back from your success, then start shopping around. Start talking to other agents, see exactly what they like or what maybe they don't like from the companies that are with, because maybe for you all you need is a change of brokerage so that you can start elevating your real estate game. A lot of times agents feel like they're stuck at this company or maybe they signed contracts. I don't know how that works where you are at currently, but I can tell you that recently I had an agent reach out And she said that she's been wanting to lead generate and prospect. She recently got her license, I think it was a month ago, but her current brokerage told her that that is not part of their 90-day new agent training. If you're in a position like that, let me just tell you, you need to leave and go somewhere else, because the moment that you get your license, you should already start prospecting and generating leads. So I remember when I got my license, even before that, I was already shadowing agents, you know? So again, shop around, take a look at different brokerages. If you want to reach out to me regarding a real and see if maybe a real broker is a good fit for you, please feel free to do so. There's going to be a link in the description box below. But again, if you feel that you're not getting training and support, it's going to happen. It happens to so many different agents. And at that point, take a look and see if there's other brokerages that might meet exactly what you're looking for. Or if you can afford it, I would highly also recommend for you to invest in a coaching program or coach, some type of training that can further your education. And number 7, balancing work and personal life. How many of you that are watching this right now have been in a position before where you have worked so much with a client, whether it's a buyer or a seller, and you have felt so invested in that transaction that you felt like you were working 24/7? Or maybe you don't have any transactions, but you're always making calls and generating leads, and it feels like you're always just working and you don't have any time for yourself. I can tell you that I personally have been in that place, and over time it caught up to me. I felt burnt out, and I would hate for you to feel like that. So how do we overcome that? You have to set boundaries for yourself and for the clients. So what do I mean by that? Know up until what time you're willing to take a phone call. Are you willing to pick up the phone for a client at 11 o'clock at night or until 7 o'clock? I can tell you, if you don't set any standards or boundaries with your clients, they're going to reach out to you and they're going to expect for you to pick up the phone anytime that they reach out. So as soon as you have a consultation with a buyer, or maybe when you meet with a seller, you have to let them know what your schedule is. You have to know that you need to set a schedule for yourself that you need to follow, especially if you have a family, especially if you have kids. I know that there's a lot of you that probably have kids. You have to take them to school. You have to take them to I don't know, sports and soccer practice or whatever it is that they do. So you need to be able to know when is a time for work and when is a time for your family. Because if you don't, you're always going to be working. You're also going to be feeling so overwhelmed, and it'll get to the point that you're going to feel burnt out, and you're probably going to hate being in this business. You're going to feel like you're being overworked and underpaid, especially if you're working with buyers. And if you are doing this by yourself, you also need to know when is the time that you have to start leveraging other people or perhaps start building a team. But again, make sure that you set standards and boundaries for others, for your clients, for your family, and for yourself, because if not, you will be overwhelmed. And what you really need is to have balance in your life. So hopefully now you have a better understanding as to how to handle these 7 frustrations. I know that a lot of this is stuff that we all go through, but again, there's a way for you to be able to handle and react to them. I know that real estate is not easy. In fact, real estate is not for the faint of heart. If you don't stick to it, if you're not disciplined or committed, I guarantee you're going to want to give up and you're going to think that this is not for you. You have to realize that you have to put in work and you have to be consistent over time. Just because you did calls for 2 weeks and you didn't get anything, it does not mean that it doesn't work. Or just because you're focusing on TikTok or Instagram and doing videos, that does not mean that you're going to be successful with getting leads. So again, it's not rocket science. Picking up the phone, generating leads, get a service like Vulcan 7, like I mentioned in the beginning, if you want to, have something provide you with phone numbers. Super easy. I highly recommend it. And with that being said, I hope that you found this video helpful. Make sure to check out these 2 videos here because I give a lot more information on how you can succeed. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next one.